But I've been talking about how to bring out the best in other people. I'll go back to that later, but I'm going to switch for a moment to bringing out the best in you. How do you bring out the best in you? I ask people a lot of time, what do you want to do? And somebody will always say, well, I want to win the lotto. And I tell them they already have. They live in the United States. They got a nice home. They may or may not, but they got a spouse, they got a family, they got a career, they got an opportunity. I mean, you already won the lotto. What have you done with it is the question. Okay? That's what we're really talking about, is what are we doing with our life? How do we bring out the best in ourselves? And as I mentioned earlier, it begins with how we think. What are we thinking about? The Dalai Lama wrote, and I'm quoting him, the greatest obstacles to inner peace are disturbing emotions such as anger, attachment, fear, and suspicion, while love and compassion and a sense of universal responsibility are the sources of peace and happiness. So what are you thinking about? I want to help you bring out the best in you, and it begins with what's going on in your mind. We've already said once, you got to learn to forgive other people. I'll tell you what's harder. You've got to learn to forgive yourself. It's been the hardest thing for me to do in my life, is to forgive myself for the things that I've done that I should not have done. But you have to get over them and move on. You must get rid of this guilt. You must have no resentment against others who have done better or who have harmed you in the past. You must concentrate on every day being a good day. You know what worrying does? Worrying brings tomorrow's troubles to today. And it doesn't do any good. We must begin to bring out the best in ourselves. There's one thing that we can do that will really help, and that's to get rid of debt. We have become slaves, all of us, to the banks and the credit card companies. I worked for the Alaskan governor by the name of Jay Hammond. Wonderful man. I never had any sons. If I had, I would have named one of them after Governor Hammond. He said, Americans consume in a manner like a man who heats his log cabin by burning the wood of the cabin. He starts with the furniture, then the floorboards, then the window frames and the doors. And pretty soon he's got the walls and the roof going. We eat ourselves up with stuff that we buy that we really don't need. I don't understand paying $150 for a pair of tennis shoes for a young boy who's going to outgrow them. People buying 3,000 to 10,000 square foot homes for two people. My favorite, and my spouse is guilty of this, is putting 8 or 9 foo-foo pillows on a bed. What in the hell are all those pillows for? You got to take them off to go to sleep. 4 televisions. Now, we have 4 TVs in our house for 2 people. Now, of course, we have one for each dog, and they like different shows. One likes Rin Tin Tin, the other one likes Lassie. But it's nonsense the way we consume. Nonsense. We build huge houses with garages that are full of junk. Then we rent storage sheds. There's over 55,000 storage facilities in the United States with over 2.5 billion square feet of rented storage space to do what? Put our junk. I know people who have 2 cars, a motorcycle, a pickup truck, a snow machine, 3 huge HD flat televisions in their 4,000 square feet house, and $40,000 in credit card debt. They both have to work 2 jobs just to break even. And the children are raising themselves. What's the matter with us? A house used to be a home, now it's a cover for stuff. That's George Carlin. And how do we pay for all this? We have a little plastic card which is a one-way ticket to hell. It's called a credit card. We owe over $700 billion in credit card debt. I get tickled, people yakking at the government because it's in debt. Well, not anymore, we are. $8,000 per household. There's $2 trillion in consumer debt. $2 trillion, not including mortgages. Credit cards, cars, trucks, boats, furniture, store accounts. $2 trillion. And what are you paying on your credit cards? 29.9%? That's ugly. If we're going to take care of ourselves, we're going to stop that. We got to get to the position where we can live without worrying about every dime that comes into the house. We have to become at peace with ourselves. All right? At peace with ourselves. Think about how you would like to be measured. Right? Dag Hammarskjöld, who was the first Secretary General of the United Nations, wrote, "All men are born as men of promise. Few die as men of achievement." What do you want to accomplish? Set some goals out there that you want to be measured by. What do you want people to say that you did after you have died? What can you contribute? Become a service leader. Become a mentor. Another thing is keep on learning. These will make you feel better. This will help bring out the best in you. Keep on learning. Have a sense of contribution and accomplishment. Be able to look back at the end of the day and say, this is what I did that was good. I tell my students in class sometimes, my learners, I will write the word evil on the whiteboard or the blackboard, and I'll ask them, if I don't have evil, what do I have? And they will all say, love. So I turn around and I erase it. I say, okay, what do you got? The answer is nothing. The absence of evil is nothing. Now, the opposite of evil might be love, but the absence of it is nothing. Goodness, you see, is a proactive term. You've got to go do something that's good, something that's observable and measurable by others. That's goodness. Here's a strange thing for you to think about. If you measure love as acts of kindness, which I think we should, for if I love you and I am not kind to you, do I really love you? Right? So love can be measured as acts of kindness. Well, if hatred is the opposite of love, then hatred should be measured as acts of unkindness. And think about the number of times you are unkind to people. Right? And that will bug you subconsciously. You will feel better the more good you do. It'll help bring out the best in you. Here's a little secret. You be nice to people all day, they're going to be nice to you. You say good things about other people, they're going to start saying good things about you, and good things about you will become your reputation.